Welcome to Cosmic Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
Hi everyone, Jason Hunt here, inviting you to join us every Saturday morning for news. The week's headlines in science fiction, fantasy, horror, comic books, video games, plus Comic-Con updates and the weather, and the occasional interview along the way. We call it Good Morning Multiverse. We hope you join us every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central, right here on Sci-Fi for Me TV.
We've crossed paths more than once. I've whispered in your ear, shown you harmless little temptations. I am unknowable, yet you know me intimately. But you can always know me better. Collected here are 20 twisted tales that will thrill, chill, incite, and delight you from some of the most imaginative minds your species has to offer. This exclusive Indiegogo printing of The Devil You Know Better will be limited and numbered, with signatures from Mike Barron and Hart D. Fisher. Stretch goals achieved for this campaign will add interior chapter illustrations by Stefano Cardacelli. The Devil You Know Better. Back it on Indiegogo today, while you still can.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com. Let's go through it slowly because I do tend to auctioneer this at this point now. I am the Chief Envelope Licker for Critical Blast Logistics. I am the myopic proofreader for Critical Blast Publishing. And yes, I do answer the phones for Critical Blast Consulting should you have any data analysis or formatting needs for your spreadsheets that come from Kickstarter or Indiegogo to help you fulfill your crowdfunder. Tonight, we are going to get back into the world of crowdfunded comics, and it's going to be this one's different. This one is different. You've seen all kinds of twists on, hey, this guy's making a comic book and he's, doing it like this, or this guy's, drawing a comic. This guy is legally blind. Keep that in mind when you think about, artist and legally blind. So if that's not the hook that gets you into watching this interview, then I don't know what else there is. Let me please welcome to the show Mr. Doug Knight, the man behind CHIASM. Doug, how are you, sir?
Very well, thank you. How are you, Howard?
I am doing great. This is an interesting book here. First of all, the art is giving me Roach Balls vibes in a way, if you haven't seen that particular comic book that's out right now. But it's not just straight up, characters acting with each other in a traditional plane, so to speak. It's very surreal in a lot of places. And we'll get to that. But let's start, I guess, at the very beginning as to, why you're doing comics.
Well, always like a lifelong passion. A lot of the story always dates back to time in the hospital. But fast forward through the dark years and work stoppage for some of the other stuff that I do, and kind of gave me an opportunity to dive in, and I was able to rack up 9 issues of my book over about a year. Just something that I really want to make my end game, career, and something that I can settle down into old age with. And I love comics. I love sequential storytelling. I love the fact that they're an accessible source for quick entertainment. If you're not able to dive into a video game or watch a show, I also like that I've lived enough of a life now with the stories that I've accumulated that I can, turn them into stuff that I can, again, help empower anybody going through a rough time, or just give people an escape with.
Now, I've seen creators go through medical crisis and come out with comic books in mind and start creating them. There's a gentleman who created Titan, whose main character was like a Shazam character, but where the hero was super, but the secret identity was dying of cancer. Because the creator was recovering from cancer. I know that Randy Zimmerman from the Sunday Funnies is doing a comic book about his time in a COVID coma that he came out of, and he just had these coma stories to tell for his COVID. Were you before your medical crisis? Were you still making comics at that point?
No, my medical crisis started at 6. So
you've still been doing them,
So I was drawing Power Rangers and Biker Mice from Mars. But I did make my first official submission to Marvel when I was 8. So, it dates me a little bit, right?
Yes. It's about the time I made my submission to Marvel and DC.
Yeah. I got such a charge getting the envelope back with the do not send original art stamped on it. I was just like, that's an official rejection.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I didn't get that. I got a God, what did I send? I sent a pencil written script to Dick Giordano for and this was back when they were doing the Superman, Spider-Man, the Batman, Hulk. I was like, here's what you need to do, which became my trademark phrase throughout life for everybody doing crowdfunders. I said, you have Galactus land on this planet, and he tells everybody to leave. And it's like, all these natives on like an island, and they're getting in canoes and they're just leaving. While he's drilling down into the core of the planet, but nobody on the other side of the planet knows he's there. And that's like where all the high-tech civilization is. And all they know is that the core of the planet's going critical. And only one guy's discovered it. It's Jor-El. And he's putting his baby in the rocket ship. And then Superman finds out that it was Galactus that caused Krypton to explode. And he's going to go. And then the Fantastic Four this. And then, like an 8-year-old would write the story. Yeah. And he wrote back on DC stationery. It was so cool because it was like, it was the kind of stationery where the back of it had the characters printed in reverse. Sick. So if you held it up to the light, they showed through as a watermark. And it was cool. Superman with Wonder Woman on his shoulders, with Batman on her shoulders, and Robin on his shoulders, and Robin holding up the DC bullet. Thrilling moment for a kid to get that kind of response back from a comic company.
Totally. A little bit better than an email.
Yeah, much better than an email. Yeah. You had to put a stamp on it and everything. Mm-hmm. But we talked a little bit before the show about the title, CHIASM. I know how to say it.
You got it.
I have no idea what it is. Why that's the title. So you're gonna have to fill us in on the story behind that.
Yeah, so I'll give you the I believe the definition of chiasm revolves around a description of intersection or opposing concepts in a physical or a conversational sense. So it already kind of incites that like that duality that I like to really flex in the book. But my tumor is sitting on top of my pituitary gland and latched onto my optic nerves at the optic chiasm. So that is your left eye connects to the right side of your brain, your right eye connects to the left side. So it's all reverse. And that intersection where they cross over is where the brain tumor is connected. So I just thought that because the character chiasm is one, who is a little bit biomechanical, a little bit bioorganic, I like the idea. I'm one of those guys where it's like, I'd rather do more than less. And so, chiasm is a real way of playing around with interposing ideas and, really challenging kind of both my writing ability and I guess people's ability to keep up with my insanity.
Now the tumor at the chiasm, that's gone now, or is that
no, it's the Doug Pebble now. Pardon me. So my I had a digital run on Comixology. When they switched to KDP, I kind of took it as my kick in the boot to jump over to print and start really challenging myself that way. But my, I believe, 5th book, somewhere on my Instagram, the artwork is there, is an actual MRI scan where the contrast illustrates that my brain tumor is like directly underneath, like all the beefy part, and like tucked right back where everything gets tidied up in the middle of the brain. So at the time that it was diagnosed, they determined that operating on it would be, it would risk like the total loss of the sight that I did have. And they weren't able to access it with radiation either. So they just controlled it with chemotherapy and then, finally decided that it had met its match, and was declared benign. I go back for long-term follow-up. I'm at every 2 years now, but I've been doing the MRI dance, since I was 6 years old now. So it's there, I do my best to avoid head trauma and all that stuff, but
don't go jostling it around. It's apparently sort of in the it's apparently sort of in the place like the distributor cap is on a Mopar engine.
For somebody who doesn't drive, I'm just gonna nod and go with it.
Well, that's how much I knew about it, because I was like, I asked my friends, like, well, how do I find that, and he's like, find the least accessible spot in your engine, and it's just behind that. So let me bring the stream up, the page up here. Modest goal on this, $585 goal. I'm thinking that's got to start with Canadian somewhere in there, because that's I can't think of why you would have $585 US dollars on that, because
it was 750 Canadian.
Okay, that makes more sense. And you passed it. You're like 25% over the goal, maybe closer to 30%. The book is going to be done. You still have 26 days to go, so totally. You're funded rather quickly.
Yep.
How much Oh, and oh, it's number 0 too. I totally skipped on that when I was reading through it earlier. How much of the book is done at this moment for people who like to
Uh,
know, how long am I going to have to wait for this book?
are you talking about like story?
Yeah, I mean,
Because
like production.
the print is done.
Oh well, look at that. It's right there. Okay, yeah.
That's it.
So basically, you're just down to the mailing of this thing.
Yeah, I mean, like I did, I printed 80 standard copies, 20 sketch covers, and I did 40 special edition numbered and signed gold badge copies. Um, I didn't want the funding of my project to dictate whether or not I was going to pursue, my future in this industry. Um, so I was pretty, all, full force on it. The inclusion of my work with lesser known comics is, kind of going to be the thing that I have to accommodate for, if anything. But yeah, otherwise, like it's just a matter of to be able to get more prints, print some variants, get some fun stuff together for everybody who's supporting me, and really start to establish a footprint. I figured not that I was going for an easy hit or anything on a achievable goal, but it's the goal that I set was under what I invested in it initially.
Yeah, I would have to
Not
imagine because it costs way more than 750 to do a comic.
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, like like it cost me, I don't know, it was a little over that to get everything printed plus stickers and cards and all that. But it's a place to start, and I want it to be very much known that like I'm not in it to turn a rich man's profit or anything off the hop. And I don't expect anybody who doesn't know me to invest anything insane in me. And so I want the community to get to know me. I want them to trust my work versus what my story is, and kind of really show people that I'm not going to stop working 3 jobs just because I have one successful Kickstarter.
Sure, sure. Well, you're hooked up with a good outfit. I've seen stuff from lesser known comics before, and eventually, at some point in their lifespan, they're going to have to change their branding to better known comics
Totally.
because
Yeah.
that's going to happen. So tell us about the story itself. What the adventure is in the book, because I see this, and I'm guessing this is a younger version of you in sort of in the form of this boy here who's got he's got his arms out, he's got a fighting stance, he's getting ready to take on stuff.
You got it. Yeah, so I've got the character's name is Desmond Phillips. I like to give homage to some of the other people in my life that are special to me. So I mash up a bunch of people. But Desmond Phillips is a representation of myself. Chiasm in itself is a science fiction retelling of my life as a childhood cancer survivor. Instead of chemotherapy, they gave him alien molecules to battle his brain tumor.
That'd be much cooler.
Yeah, it would be much cooler. You know what? I don't know. It depends on kind of how it shakes out. He's part of a study where several children from the late 80s, early 90s received the same treatment. Some of them had just success with no recourse, or if there was, then they have to determine how to live a modest life. Others get extraordinary powers and are thrust into an extraordinary spotlight. Others have manifestations of the wrong aspects of their symptoms and therefore become dangerous because of it. On a human level, that's kind of how it all affects the Earth after the Adama comet smashes into it. The cosmic level of it is the alien race called the Kazi. They find out that light years away from their established home system, this little species of whatever are using their intellectual property to enhance themselves, and this could be dangerous to their reputation. So they confront humanity, and there's I work it out. So it's basically like I jump a few decades in the story at one point just to kind of paint my future and get a feel for world building. And at that point, they have an established relationship where it's now democratic or government based decision making, and theology is opened up their acceptance into like a cosmic kind of understanding. And so really jumping into, a broad spectrum to see, just have fun with the writing, basically. But the story itself just follows Desmond Phillips as a person who has to experience life through the scope of a extraordinary individual who doesn't really unlock that potential until his mid to late 20s. The uh, the There's a schism between the character and the molecules that communicate with him at about 12. And that's where the little boy with the hat that's blocking out his visual field comes into play. That's the representation of their inner child. So he's kind of, he's the crap talking Weisenheimer that is always kind of in the background, trash talking through serious situations and stuff. Which is
Okay.
which is how I deal with things. I'm a very like, I'm a comedy first kind of person. Like if somebody's yelling at me, like there's a good chance that I've got a chuckle waiting in the back of my mouth, because it's easier to kind of laugh than deal with things sometimes. So I keep him around a lot, and I use him as an intermediary between the molecules and the protagonist. Also, it's just, I think it's really fun to kind of always have that, like your inner child's around, so it holds you to a standard of, kind of um, like like a repressed behavior system.
Yeah.
You're always kind of cautious of like what this kid, like how you would act if you were this age, because you can still hear whoever's voice in the background saying, I wouldn't do that if I were you, kind of thing. So I just, like to explore as much depth within one character as I can get, until I can, expand the world and really make you feel like you're in the driver's seat with this character, and then everybody else kind of just feels like a treat to have introduced.
I want to take a second here to recognize the chat. We got Mike Walters is out here, has liked and shared the stream. Do appreciate that. Get more people to come in and see what it is that Doug is working on here.
Thanks, Mike.
Woody has learned to cook tamales tonight, but he's still cross-eyed, and I don't know if that's a crack at the cross-eyed comics. Which, by the way, way to own it. Just throw it right there on the
So
brand
the
of the
best part
comic.
is that my eyes aren't crossed; they're lazy. So I
They're too
figured
lazy to cross.
cross-eye.
Okay.
That's right. Great. I figured cross-eye was a fun way to kind of play on the fact that sometimes my artwork gets a little crazy.
Well, and it's a nice alliterative sort of masthead too.
You got it.
Lazy eye comics just kind of wouldn't. Doesn't stick in the head as much.
No, that's right. Cross-eye comics, keep them crossed.
So I'm scrolling through here. I haven't gotten to the interior art pages yet, but
Yep,
I'm seeing
that's okay.
this the gold badge. It's
Yep.
rare. It's awesome. It could be yours, and it could be yours for. I'm scrolling here for wow, $20? Really?
$20. Yeah, not like it's not doesn't come in that big fancy package or anything. It's
Yeah, and when I say really, I'm like, that's like really super cheap.
Yeah, well, I know, but you know what? Like again, I'm not in it to get rich. I want people to feel like they're jumping on at a very early point in the success of my career, and I don't want to be greedy either, right? Like, what's the point in putting a $40 price tag on something if it deters people from wanting to be excited about getting something special,
Yeah.
And it's real easy for me to say like, okay, it's the only time I'll ever do gold badges on this issue, right?
So yeah, and besides, if you put you make more money on a $20 item that you sell out of than on a $40 item that you sell one of.
Exactly.
So I scroll down. There are no interior art pages. Do you have any art that you want to share, screen share or something to kind of give people an idea of the interiors?
Unfortunately, I'm technologically still learning. What can I
Okay,
do? I can refer you to my Instagram. We can go through that if you'd like. If you're able to pull it up on there.
I can do that.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wait, if I'm logged in, all those models that I follow. Wait a second, it's okay. What's your
Let's see.
Instagram ID there?
Cross-Eye Comics.
Make sure I
My
spelled that
cameraman
right.
skills right there.
There we go. I almost put a D on it, but didn't need to.
Yeah, I know that's the stopper there.
So let me go back that, and I'll just drag it over here, and here we are. Hey, look, no nudes. I'm okay. Good job.
I know that guy. No, man, I'm all PG.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Let's see. So I just did an art show, so that's why you're seeing all this fun promotion stuff.
Yeah, so this is like your fine art stuff. This is not the comic, but it's representative of what you can do.
Totally.
So this is very cool looking here. He's got planets floating around him, and he's architecting new planets. Got some broken ones.
Yeah, that's something I did 8 years ago, and then I jumped in and digitally, remastered it for the art show that I was in, just to kind of have fun and show, how you can grow a concept but still keep it the exact same as what it was. So that's done just like with the old school tattoo and spit shade technique, and
yeah,
that's Surin.
So is he one of the characters in the book now? Because that looked like he was.
He is a character inside of the comic book. So he's the spoof to Spawn in my book. So same as my life was influenced heavily on Image and McFarlane. He's a big fan of McLaughlin and the comic book Sporin, who's the Hellbound Highlander. So just having lots of fun with
so there's a comic book in your comic book,
as there is in every world.
I love it. So this is what Desmond reads.
That's it. Yeah,
I'm digging
because I took out of the first issue with my issue 0 story. I'm bumping up the first issue with a look into Sporin. This is a page from one of my books called The Man from Scratch. It's a very few words other than any kind of like automatopoeia or like descriptive titles that just describes the creative process. So my deep dive into kind of how you can start out slow and then you kind of get rolling on some fun concepts and you get a roadblock and working through it, and that was the song 99 Red Balloons that they did through like Goldfinger remastered. One of my favorites. So I did a few shout outs to bands that really influenced me. One of them actually picked up really cool steam. I just got the book from the Kickstarter that they ran for it. So I got invited to participate in the Spooky Tales book by Murder by Death. You see it. Let's see. I'm pretty zoomed in right now, so I don't know if you can still see me, but I got it the other day. I was pretty stoked. Here's my work in the book.
Yeah,
that was exciting to be a part of.
So do you do your own coloring?
Yeah.
Very nice. I like that. It's like there's more color in the word balloons than there is on the characters, but they're all sepia toned characters. So
totally, you got it. And then so that was the book that they made. Even though it's in reverse there.
That's a nice looking book.
Yeah, it was really, really, really exciting. They set the goal of like 320,000 and ended up with like 460 or something. So it was pretty cool to be a part of a small cog in such a big machine. So here's the Muse, one of the greatest roadblocks to any creative process. You can be cruising along and then all of a sudden just that lingering thing hits the back of your mind and throws you off. You have to recalibrate and figure out what's how to get back on track.
It's a beautiful picture.
Thank you.
Looking specifically for things.
Yeah, let me see. I'll crack open a book and we can take a look inside the book as well.
That'll work too. So yeah, the reason I asked if you did your own coloring, I mean, obviously the visual impairment isn't. It's just near focus kind of stuff, not.
I have issues with color differentiation as well.
Okay.
Yeah. But I also, as a tattooer, have kind of learned the color theory involved. So here's Sister Brown. There's after the little dude loses his eyeball.
Oh man, that's rough, man.
There's a fun. I like to make my own advertisements in the world. So that's Island Time Contracting, inspired by my
Gotcha.
father's inability to show up on time. Here's the big
I
action
like it. The
page
palm
where,
tree's a hammer.
yeah, you got it. There's the big spread.
Yeah, that's a primal scream right there.
That's the wind up, man. That's the wind up to the sneeze. Then you got
Oh, gotcha.
the blaster.
Okay, now that I see it in order, it comes across
Yeah,
better.
yeah, you got it. I apologize for everybody seeing the screen in reverse. I know it's probably driving you all nuts.
Well, the
But-
pages are just getting turned that way.
Yeah, you got it.
So you're
really
a tattoo
fun-
artist as well, then? Yeah.
That's it.
Do you ever get a guy under the needle and say, "By the way, I'm blind"?
No, I wear extraordinarily powerful glasses that kind of tells the story for me, but I also am very I'm careful about the projects that I choose. So here's kind of this. So the panels on the inside cover are from the original artwork from the first print of it that I made, and just kind of show how far you can develop in 4 years of working hard and fleshing out your style.
Yeah.
And then I'll show you the just kind of some of the action shots with the apple transforming because the eyeballs landed in it.
God. See, this is just weird, bizarre, phantasmagorical landscape stuff going on here. The eyeball landed in the apple, and now the apple's transforming. This is
There's your end panel there.
yeah. That's beautiful stuff. I love it.
Thank you.
It's
Yeah, and inside the book, I'm giving a sneak peek to the super wicked White Cell Squadron. You see the artwork on my Instagram there. It's going to be my my all ages title that I want to push to get into every children's hospital. I'm sure you've heard that probably 100,000 times, but I feel like I'm pretty connected to the power of a positive environment.
Well,
in an oncology ward. So I really
I
want
know
to try to
people who
develop.
can help you get that done.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we'll hook you. Have you ever talked with Mark Weiss?
No, but I remember Mark Bernal had mentioned him, as well as Gabe Valentine from Digital Lizards of Doom. So I would like to get that moving.
Yeah, Mark Weiss, by the way, chat is the head honcho behind comicbooksforkids.com. And that's what they do is they get comic books into cancer wards.
Awesome. Yeah, so that when I was in chemo, the best way for my parents to explain to me why they were pumping poison into my system to kill the cancer was that the White Ranger was going in to fight the monster that was trying to destroy my brain. So as far as the Power Rangers go, I was pretty disinterested in all the other Rangers. The White Ranger was pretty special to me.
Well, it's a good thing the Green Ranger is the one that went bad.
That's it. White Ranger was the redeemer.
If the White Ranger had done it, man, you'd have been mess.
But I still probably would have found a way to figure out that yeah, he was the badass one enough to know he had to do what he had to do.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So I very much I'm excited with that project. It's one of those things where it's like, because chiasm is so personal to me, there's some subject matter involving obviously theology and stuff that might be a little concerning for any organization that is religion based. So I want to introduce the White Cell Squadron as like that all-inclusive rah spirit kick butt book that anybody can kind of jump on and write and create for, because everybody has positive experiences from kaijus and monsters and big robots and kids wearing armor, and just to have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. Now, is chiasm the first issue of a story arc, or is it like a one shot? It's done. That's my book. I'm going to something else now.
No, like I said, I produced 9 books already, that I had released on Comixology.
And they're all chiasm. I mean, it's a
They're all chiasm.
ongoing.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's not going to be like hypothalamus, or I'm not going to jump the boat and end him. He's my character. I think just one of the fun things that I'm going to have is kind of evolve his costume a couple times over the evolution of his character. And sometimes it'll be a pain in the backside to draw over and over again. Sometimes it'll be streamlined and super fun to draw. But just I enjoy what the story is, and it's a lot of stuff that I can pull off of. So there's characters that I could definitely branch off with. There's one of the characters from the Ambassadors, their superhero team up kind of crew. Her name is Ribbon. I think that could be a very fun spin-off book, but Chiasm is always going to be the primary creation.
Yeah, you'd have to, once you start looking at spinning off other characters, you almost have to start looking at hiring other writers to
Totally
support the structure of the company, because one guy can only do so much.
That's it.
Yeah, and Woody was just commenting on the help he received from Ronald McDonald House for his son's heart surgery. I think that Ronald McDonald House also is a recipient of Comic Books for Kids through Mark, but I can't be absolutely sure. I'm sure he would love to get in there if he's not already.
Yeah. We utilized their services when my little guy was in NICU when he was first born as well. So it was fantastic.
So, doing 9 books, what's your turnaround time on a book? How long does it take you to produce something from your first blank blue board page to finished product, or digital product if you're working on your Mac or whatever?
Yeah, so the funny answer is that at one point I was holding myself to a 1-month turnover rate, just so I could see if I could meet it all by myself. Found out that it's very difficult. So to take my time with it, I think that like if it's something that I can sit down and dedicate my insomnia fueled hours to, 2 months is pretty inside the comfort zone for me.
That's amazing.
I'm a very I like the Marvel method of storyboarding and then writing on top of it, because it's just me and I can kind of play around with whatever I need to during the creation of the story. And because the arc is inside my brain, I control the direction that I want to take everything. But furthermore, I'm a workhorse. Like I have the ethic of both my time with home renovation and my time with tattooing, where I understand that you have to be disciplined, and that if you are tired, give yourself a break. But there are other excuses that you just kind of can push to the wayside if it means producing the most honest effort.
Yeah, it's to get it out at that rate of speed is phenomenal, and at the same time expected. I think I've had pros on who've gone indie since then, and I've asked them, like, you've worked for DC, you've worked for Marvel, you can produce a book in a month because you've done it. You've shown it can be done. Why does it take so long to do it in crowdfunding? And the roundabout answer was that it's being done in spare time pretty much, and it just takes longer to do every part of the process than to just do the writing or the drawing part. So, but you are doing the writing, the drawing, the talking with the printer, the placing of the orders, the marketing, which you're doing right now. Have you been at the crowdfunding part of this for a while now? I mean, I know you've done the Comixology thing. I don't know how much interviews you did to promote that way, or if you just kind of put it out there and said, "Hey, I've got a book." I mean, are you new to the crowdfunding effort, or am I just now?
Yeah,
finding you?
So when I started writing the book, social media, like I'm not, go figure that the guy with poor sight doesn't like to read a lot. So I wasn't a
Yeah.
big Twitter person. So I haven't taken a big dive into Twitter yet. So my real only jump into like the indie community was through Instagram, which is something I was familiar with through tattooing and promotion and stuff like that. So I kind of jumped in, I backed a few Kickstarters, and I saw that, this is a very cool way to show support, and that it doesn't feel like you're going, out on the street with a tin cup and a hope on your sleeve, right? Um,
Yeah.
and so I continuously backed and supported people that I really respected, and talked to them, and jumped into kind of how they do their thing and stuff, but really wasn't consider I think my version of crowdfunding was like putting a post on my Facebook for the first like 50 books that I printed 3 years ago. And it was like, I'd love to raise $500 so I could go print some books, and I did, and then that was it. But that was just, again, friends and family, right?
Yeah.
So to jump into Kickstarter, first kick at it, that's why I went with a modest goal, and I'm looking to kind of build momentum off of it. I do believe that nothing in this life comes easy or free. And so I also believe that it's all about, you have to prove yourself, right? Like when you're new to any tattoo shop, no matter what your skill level is, there's people that have been there a lot longer than you, and they demand some kind of a social decorum where you got to learn how to work with them. And I think that if you are a new creator on the scene, you need to, there's an attitude for like going in there guns blazing and saying, I don't care about anybody. But I think that also, if you establish that you're really good at working with everybody, and that you're not a horrible person, and that kind of goes towards your credit as well. And so that's the direction that I was heading in.
Yeah. I think that I know a lot of artists love to work on Instagram because it's an art show kind of deal.
Mhm.
I think Instagram would be so much more powerful if they let you put links in it.
Mhm.
I used to use Instagram a lot more than I do now. We used to have a monthly cosplay feature on our website where we'd have just different cosplay models would be our bombshell of the month. Go figure.
Cool.
Critical Blast, we had bombshell.
Yeah.
Uh, but then when it came time to promote, hey, here's our May bombshell, our June bombshell, I'd put the
Mhm.
picture on Instagram, and I could never direct people to the interview, the spotlight where we ask them all the questions because
Yeah.
can't link.
Gotcha. Yep. Yep. It's definitely, well, it's kind of neat that you can link in stories now. Like they've introduced that, and that's
Okay,
kind
well
of
that's a step
cool.
in the right direction.
It's a step in the right direction. The As far as going back to the original experience with marketing question, last summer, one of my buddies that I grew up with went into a university program for marketing, and he took on an internship for me. So he was kind of my buddy that was championing me for a little bit. He built my website originally, and kind of got my feet wet with um, tags that generate momentum, and all sorts of really cool things. So I took away some stuff from that. But as far as like really making the push to book interviews and stuff like that, like it was just kind of whatever trickled through Reddit originally, and I've done a few over the years, but never anything to say like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. It's always been just, this is something that I really enjoy doing, but now I'm pretty committed to, really making a push and seeing how far I can exceed my own expectations with it.
Now with the Kickstarter, and this being your virgin jump, so to speak, a lot of people look for stuff other than the comic book. I
Yep.
don't know why. If you want to buy a comic book, you'd think you'd come here and buy a comic book.
I got you.
So, what kind of inducements have you added to this campaign to say, hey, you get a little bit more if you buy this one or that one?
Yeah. So
Because I'm thinking Desmond would make a great sticker.
actually, I have several Desmond stickers. Funny you should mention it.
Perfect.
I have one called the Ankle Smasher, and it's Desmond Phillips with a ID cane flashed in the air with a battle cry on his face. Actually, give me 1 second. I'm going to step away from the camera. Play some wake
We'll
music. I'll be
do
right
that.
back.
I will take this moment to scroll down the tiers that you've got here. We have 20
Sweet.
backers right now, folks, and for I mean, jump back up to the top of the tiers here, because for a mere $2, you can get the digital copy of Chiasm number 0.
That's $2 Canadian, folks. It's good for me for a coffee. I think it's like $1 for you.
I was gonna say, well, yeah, it is $2 Canadian, which surprises me because I'm used to seeing this thing converted for me. Apparently, it's about $2 either way, though, they say.
Okay, cool.
So it's probably like $1.98 or something. We're catching up.
I got you. I think
you can get the paperback for $8. $8 for the paperback, 15 for the physical print, and an 8x10 art print. So you're not even at the price of your normal crowdfunded comic yet, and you're already getting the crowdfunded comic and art to put up. You got that gold badge edition here for $16 US, $20 Canadian, which is one of 20. It's got the gold. I think this one's the gold stamped on the cover, which is why it's the gold badge.
The gold cross-eyed badge is in the top left corner, and then I've got each issue signed and numbered in with a gold marker.
One of 20. So this is very, very limited print on this one. Only I'm looking at that one. I'm going to probably add that one to my collection.
Beautiful.
$38, which is again only $30 US. You get the physical copy, and you get another physical copy with the blank sketch cover opportunity. $40. Now we're just at the point where it's like, we're just going to start stacking things up here. $32 US. You are getting 3 copies of number 0, 2 copies of the variant cover. I'm guessing the variant cover is the sketch cover.
Nope. Variant cover is something that I'm working on right now that I will be. I can show you some of the salacious details of it if you choose.
By all means, yes. And 7 8x10 art prints. You can plaster your wall with scenes of Chiasm here.
You got it. So check this out, man. I'm an art first dude, and realistically, like archival prints are like the more expensive, yes, but like they don't break your back. And I think that like if you are everybody likes getting free stickers, everybody likes getting cool artwork. If you can make it something where everybody just gets excited at the fact that this guy just it's the excitement of that kid who shows you his sketchbook at school even though he doesn't know who the hell you are, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So check this out, man. I'm going to show you some of my stickers. Want to see my stickers?
Yes, I do. I want to see the stickers. So,
this one's called "Eat Your Heart Out." That's Desmond Phillips vibing in the.
Oh man, I'm drinking here, man.
Sorry, buddy. You know what? I did that because any booger humor makes my mom gag. So it was totally just spiteful. But it's funny. I'll send I'll make cards for that and send it to people, and it's always the same reaction. So here's the ankle smasher. Sorry,
got it.
But so it's kind of fun. It's a smaller sticker, but it's a low key flex for all the legally blind people that make up 0.2% of the population. Here's the little D.
Nice, yeah.
And then so
he's just full of attitude.
Oh yeah, he's just a cheeky, he's the full spirit of my Welsh grandma who taught me all my favorite swear words. The cool thing about this version of the sticker is it's the one where you see his skin tone. In the comic book, he's a black and gray manifestation. But the full color sticker is something that I'm doing exclusive to the Kickstarter. After that, I've got them available on my Redbubble. It's just in black and white. So it's kind of a fun Easter egg. And then there's the Cross-Eye Comics badge, just flexing those lazy eyes and having fun doing it.
Very cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
So stickers.
You got tchotchkes. You got stuff to add.
Yeah, absolutely. The other cool thing too is because I'm working in partnership with lesser known comics, what I'm doing, or what Mark and I are doing, is he's handling all of the distribution from the US and the printing from the US, so that we can keep that shipping cost at the same level for Canadian and US. Unfortunately, EU and the rest of the world, and that whole jam is a bit of it's still high up there, but
Tell him to talk
as
to
far
me.
as,
That's our business.
yeah, well, as far as what we can do, that's kind of where we met with each other to bring that content, and then you can add books from other great creators as well. And so
Oh,
it
that's nice.
unlocks
So you got some add-ons here for other lesser-known comics when you get to that
yeah,
part?
you've got other lesser known titles available through my Kickstarter. And again, that's it's my way of sharing how positive I think the indie comics community has become by highlighting some of the other cats that I've worked with over the past year or
Yeah.
so, and really trying to expose them
I
to
love
anybody that
seeing
might
how
be.
I love seeing how everybody's coming together and working on stuff. I mean, I'm seeing campaigns where they're like, hey, if you back my campaign and you
Yep.
back this other campaign, you'll get a poster from one of us that has both the characters on it. That's
Sick.
been a big thing in a couple of different campaigns. So it's getting indie comics is getting bigger.
It's becoming a big house party.
It is.
So
Woody's appreciating
here's a sneak peek of my variant.
Let me throw that up here bigger.
Sure.
And Mike, I'll get back to your comment in a second there.
I'm just kidding. That's the scribbles were from my my toddler.
Well, I used to do an art experiment, and I'm no artist by any means, but I would like take a page and then I would scribble over it all like that, and then I would start filling in the little segments and try to turn it into a picture that got created from the sort of stained glass look of it all.
Gotcha. Yeah. So check this out. So this is I'm gonna do for the variant. I'm gonna do a full wrap.
Oh, nice.
So it's
full wraparound cover. People love that.
Yeah. So it's it's really fun. Like I'm there's a big battle in me where it's like I'm doing it anyways. So I was going to I'm gonna have that as kind of a stretch goal. If I want to hit that point, I'm gonna do like the big reveal with all the making of stuff. And have a lot of fun with that. If the campaign flatlines there, then maybe I just have the cover that I've done so far and it still looks good.
Prepare for the best and be satisfied with the good that you've already got.
I'll take 148%.
Yeah, exactly. Mike Walters is getting ready to take off here and start his own show, the Mike Stand, at the top of the hour. So when you leave here, head over there for all the niche news in comics, wrestling, and anime.
Have fun, Mike.
You'll be up to date on everything in our little geekdom world here. And yes, shout it loud, Woody. It is CHIASM. Let everybody know that it exists. We are, you still got your 20 backers. So unfortunately, I've done no good for you at this moment.
It's been a pleasure to get to know you, Howard, and to
same here, man.
It's
have
it's
to get
been
you
cool
on more often.
Yeah, for sure. It's been nice to also to get some different questions to open up the spectrum as well. It's been a very fun challenge to speak with you and flesh out some answers that are good for people.
Well, I try to be polite, but it's better to just be head on and stupid, and let people know, hey, I'm stupid, but can you tell me what the hell's going on with this? It works for me. I one day I'll get punched, but I know people who are going to want to talk to you and bring you on their show. So hang on here for a little bit after we go off, because I want to make sure that you get introduced correctly and properly and can get scheduled because if I don't send you to them, they're going to come to me afterwards and say, dude, how come you didn't send him to me? And
fantastic. It's awesome.
And they already know who I'm talking about. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on our show tonight. Do appreciate it. It's been fun taking a look at CHIASM. I'm putting this one on my short list here. There's 26 days to go. So I'm like, I can make an extra 2 cents an inch if I just hold off. But this is how I do it, Doug. Hey, Siri, remind me in 25 days to back Doug's Kickstarter.
Okay, your reminder is set for the 26th of August, 2022.
There we
go.
You
went with the Aussie voice, eh?
Yeah, I did.
I was waiting to see if you activated my watch.
I've done that.
I'm on do
I've
not
had people on
disturb
the
mode.
show.
I've learned.
Yeah, I've done that to people on the show before because I'll talk about how I tell my phone, "Hey, Siri," and I don't pause like that. And I activated my phone and I activated his phone. It's like,
Yeah.
that would
So real quick before we go, on top of having horrible eyesight, I also have these great big monkey thumbs. And so my texting on top of my visual dexterity is a shit show. Only time I'm swearing tonight, folks. And so I try to do the auto dictate, but like on times where I'm busy or I'm on a ladder or I'm doing something that I probably ought not be doing with what I've got to work with. Somebody will text back with like, dude, do you even like proofread your text? And the answer right back is always no.
just send audio texts. You can do
That's
that.
it.
Just hold the
Yeah.
record button down and send a little wave file.
It's becoming more popular.
It is. It's less private if you aren't careful, but anyhow, Doug, do appreciate it. We'll be checking this out further, and like I said, I'm going to introduce you to some folks. People in the chat, thank you so much for being here tonight. If you're watching this on the replay, the link to CHIASM on Kickstarter is right below the video. Be sure to hit that up. Get over there and check it out. There's going to be a tier over here. You're going to, at least one tier you're going to want to throw money at. So get on that. And everybody who is here tonight, we do appreciate you being here as always. Without you, we don't have a show. And so, we're very glad you're here. And while you were here, as always, we just hope you had a blast. Good night, everyone.